Okay, it's a trial session, but it's gonna get started soon. There you go, guys. It's right now, it's recording, but we're in a trial. I think it's a couple minutes of just a trial session. Webinar. And it's gonna go live on here, and you can ignore it. This is like runs on Facebook, but this is the main webinar. It's gonna go on.
And when does this start?
And 3:30, so 1 minute.
Okay.
So you both fit in here, so you're
Yeah.
pretty good.
So I'm just gonna feed off of you, whatever you're saying. and
Yeah,
if they ask
let's
me,
just have it as a conversation, right? So,
Want me to call you Jim or Jumbo?
Jim is fine.
Jim.
Yeah. it's good.
There's a show over here that's starting.
Do they have the ability to call in?
No, I wonder if they can answer. We haven't done these.
See you later. You're welcome.
Yeah, so we're gonna get, let me see, I'm gonna put this, kind of like this. We'll go live on Facebook. So you guys will start streaming there, and then I'm gonna try to figure out the situation here. So I think we're already live on Facebook, so.
Okay.
And I want to say we're live as well here, so. Let me make sure we're recording. Yes, we're recording, so go ahead. And just start, I guess let's start our webinar. Don't become statistic, 5 things you can do today to protect your home. Go ahead, MJ.
All right, great. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. We are here with Boss Security Screens, and we are always your partner in delivering the best security systems available for your home. And we are also committed to making sure that you have all of the proper information, that you're armed with the latest technologies so that you can feel safe and protected at all times, particularly in your home. So joining me today is my good friend Jim. He is the vice president over here at Boss Security Screens. And Jim, why don't you go ahead and say hello to the crowd, and let's see if we can educate them a little bit
All
on
right,
some of what we do.
Hello, everyone. Jim, Vice President of Boss Security Screens. MJ and I are just going to be going over some things that can help you keep your home safe, and some things that MJ will point out to you, things that you don't even realize that it's going on around your home, that we can button up, and keep you safe. He'll go through some things with you, and then when we get to the product, I'll go over some of that with you also. All righty.
So one of the things that we always talk about in terms of home security is everything's good until it isn't. And we know for a fact that that changes on a dime, right? So we see it all the time, everybody feeling very comfortable with themselves until something happens either in their own neighborhood or so maybe to themselves. And the first thing that happens when somebody's home is broken into is that overwhelming feeling of being violated, right? How many times have you heard that when you go out to talk to people about putting some security screens on their home? It's always the first thing they talk about. And sometimes people will also feel differently about their home. Once they know that somebody has been in it, it just makes them feel uncomfortable, particularly at night or when they're home alone. So what we want to talk about, and we talk about this extensively on our blog here at Boss Security Screens. So if you go to bosssecurity-screens.com, we have an entire blog section that I am doing content for, and we update that content at least weekly, if not more. So I'm always addressing some of the questions that we get from our viewers, and we have a lot of people that will either email us with questions, and so we would encourage you to do that. The important thing is that when you have a question, that you take the time to look for the answer. So some of the things we're going to talk about today are the 5 things that you can do to protect your home. Now, it's not just a laundry list. It's really more about how you approach your everyday life. Now, the very first thing I wrote about in one of my early blogs for Boss Security Screens was awareness. Now, Jim, we talk about this all the time, and particularly in law enforcement, we have those 4 conditions that people walk around in, and they're associated with a color, right? So condition white is that laissez-faire. You don't pay attention to what's going on. You're oblivious to the world around you. So the very first thing that people have, right, is their cell phone. So they're always in their cell phone. They're always doing this, and they're absolutely unaware of what's happening around them. Even worse, when you're walking in a busy area, a mall or down the strip or whatever, there are people everywhere around you. But what are people doing? They're on their phones, they're Googling, they're just unaware of their surroundings. And that's probably the worst thing that you can do for your own personal safety and the safety of anyone around you, is not knowing who's near. So now the next level is yellow. That's where you have a heightened sense of awareness. You are aware, but relaxed, right? So you know what's going on. But it's important that we understand the difference. And then when you go to condition orange, you are ultra aware that there's something going on. So let's just give you an example. Maybe there's a strange car parked and there's a guy in it. Now you are focused. You are laser focused on this guy in your neighborhood. He's not threatening you, but you are now aware of it because you made that eye contact. Now you recognize potential danger. It could be when you're walking in a park. All right. Now you're walking in a park and all of a sudden there's somebody behind you. That makes you what? Feel uncomfortable because we just don't know. Well, it's important that you have that heightened sense of awareness. So that's that condition orange. Now, condition red, we don't want to be there. No, this is where the world is going upside down. You're either in a fight for your life, you are running from danger. And so condition red is where you are very aware of your surroundings. And now you've got to take some type of evasive action.
Too late by then.
And by then it's a little too late. But you do want to be prepared for condition red. And that's some of the things we talk about is preparedness. When you read my blogs, you're going to see one word that comes out over and over and over again. It is the word preparedness. And we want to do that responsibly. And so a lot of times people think preparedness is just simple. Let me go get a gun. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about guns extensively. And that is not one of the 5 that I tell you is a good thing to do. And the reason is that owning a weapon is very specific to the person. So let's just think about this. You get somebody who's maybe not that good with guns, maybe never owned one. They've never had one in their hand, but they feel compelled to go get one. That's really the wrong reason to own a weapon. So in a blog that I wrote about gun ownership, it says to own or not to own. I go in there extensively and I talk about some of the things you got to consider. So let me ask you a question, Jim. If you were going to buy a gun, what's one thing you would think about in terms of the purchase that you would want to consider prior to purchasing a gun?
The safety of it. If I could use it, where am I going to keep it? How
where are
do
you
you
going to
use
keep
it? How am I going to react if I'm going to get this gun?
Reaction is one of the big ones.
Which is really, a lot of people don't realize, oh, I go into someone's home, I'll have my weapon. If they come in here, I'll have my weapon. I'm like, half of the time you're in your chair or you're in the shower or you're just sleeping. You're not aware of what's going on, like you're saying. So you're caught by surprise. So now your weapon is there for them to pick up and use against you if you don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely. So we talk about that pretty in depth in this article, and I would really urge you to read it because it gives you a lot of practical information about gun ownership. So the very first thing you got to ask yourself is, what's the purpose of the weapon? And there's really only 3 purposes for a weapon. One is for protection, one is for recreation, and one is for sporting, right? Hunting. So you're either out target practicing, just trying to get good at the weapon, or you're carrying it for self-defense. So the purpose drives the type of weapon. Now, if you're an elephant hunter, you want an elephant gun, right? You're not going to take a BB gun and try to get an elephant. So you want to have the purpose of the weapon really truly identified. And when it comes to self-protection, you mentioned a couple of things that are important. First thing is now going into the type of weapon. Will it fit me? That's the second or third very important element, because I could go out and get a 50 caliber Desert Eagle. And if you've never seen one of those things kick like a mule. It is a huge handgun, bigger than Dirty Harry's gun, if you remember old Dirty Harry. So you want to have a gun that fits your body, that fits your hand grip, your strength, your conditioning. Because if you have a weapon that's too large or too small, it's going to affect the way it handles, right? And so we want to make sure that the purpose, type, and fit are all there. But you mentioned the most important, so you jumped right to number 4.
Yeah.
The most important is training. If you are not training with a weapon, you are setting up a recipe of disaster. Because what happens is people will go out, they'll get a gun, right? And then they're going to practice with it for maybe a month, maybe 2. If they do. And then they put it away.
Yeah.
And then so statistically, the majority of self-inflicted wounds is when you are 1, handling a weapon that you're unfamiliar with, and 2, maybe trying to clean it. So what happens is you put it away for about 6 months, maybe a year, you pull it out and you forget that it's loaded, or you forget how to unload it safely. And now you've shot yourself. Okay, that defeats the whole purpose, people. We do not want to shoot ourselves. So when you think about a weapon, and again, I don't think weapons are the first choice for most people, unless you're willing to commit. If you're willing to commit to the training and you're willing to commit to properly fitting and identifying the purpose, then a weapon's not a bad idea.
Right.
But if you're not willing to make that commitment, then you got to start thinking about what you said. Where do we store it? Do I have children to worry about? Because so many children are accidentally killed every year because they get into their parents' weapons.
Yeah.
So you need to start thinking about how you store it, how you access it, because a weapon that is completely locked away is very difficult to get to in an emergency situation. So again, there's all kinds of processes that you can look at. But since we are not going to really push the concept of a weapon, I just wanted to mention that. So go to our blog, go to our website, bossecurityscreens.com, check out the blog that says, guns to own or not to own. And you will really find all that information that I talked about as far as purpose, type, fit, and training. Okay, but let's get on to what the topic is today. And that is the 5 things that you can do to protect your home. So we talked about awareness. Just being aware of your neighbors and what's going on in the neighborhood is huge. So once you start working on your own self-awareness, go home and practice, folks. Go home and on your way to your house, practice dictating back to yourself 3 vehicles that you saw or something new in somebody's yard. Make mental notes and then test yourself. See if you can remember. Take a look at a license plate. Let a couple of minutes go by and then see if you can remember that license plate. These are all techniques that you can do to increase your own self-awareness. The other thing is put this away. I know that it becomes a fun tool, but it's also the biggest distraction that we ever have. So once you can put your cell phone down, now you can start being aware of what's going on around you. So that's the number 1 thing you can do, is increase your own personal awareness and then your own awareness around your home. So let's get into the neighborhood watch. That's the next step. Once you're aware of your own property, you can become aware of the neighborhood, right? Now, you go out into the neighborhoods all the time, Jim.
It's constant. We're always going to our clients' homes, and we always get there a little early and we drive around the block. And when we were out riding that day, I drove early. I like to see why someone would pick my client's home.
There you
A
go.
lot of times, if you're on the corner, sometimes they'll go after the corner homes first because it's easy in and out access. But I always look to see if they have American flag, because in certain spots of the country, statistically, houses that get robbed the most are a house with American flag, POW flag, or a veteran's flag.
Why do you think that is?
They're patriots. What do patriots have?
Weapons. Exactly.
So I can't tell you how many times you can probably look outside your door right now and see your neighbor's car that's parked in his driveway. On the back of his car, there's US Marines or gun control or guns. I love guns. All you're doing is advertising. I let them know that right away. I walk up that driveway. I'm like, oh, you have weapons. They're like, how'd you know that? I said, you just advertised right on your car. Like, oh my God. I said, at least back the car in. When you put your flag up, put it up for the holidays. We hate saying that. We want the flags up all the time, of course. But it is, now that you drive down that street, you're going to notice American flag now. When you're driving down your street, you're going to be like, oh, wow, if they're a patriot, they may have weapons, they may not. But it's just something that draws their attention to your home. So that's one of the things that's important.
And so we're always looking, and Jim hit it right on the head. We're always looking at the neighborhood, because what makes your house more vulnerable than another home? And then that is an excellent segue into the next thing that I'm going to talk about, and that's Septet. Septet is crime prevention through environmental design. And again, on my blogs, I wrote a whole series of blog content that discusses in depth the whole concept of Septet. Now, what we're looking at in Septet is how can we make our house less vulnerable, or our business less vulnerable to break-ins, by doing some simple and often free techniques to make sure that your home is safe. The first thing that always comes up is landscaping. So there's 4 principles to Septet, and one is landscaping. The second one is access control. That is how we determine where people should be in our property. How do they approach your front door? Should they be on the side of the house? And if they're not, well, then we don't want landscaping to hide that. And we don't want them to be there because the path didn't take them there. Now we know, if we're ultra aware of our neighborhood, we know that that's not the way to our neighbor's front door. So again, access control, territorial reinforcement, fencing, gates, those kind of things that tell people you're in a no walk zone, you're in a no access zone. And then of course, the all important is maintenance, kind of like the training element for a gun. Maintenance. So you get your yard all set up, and under Septet principles, you want to make sure that your plants aren't any taller than the 3 feet.
You want to keep
and
those,
you want to keep that canopy so
away
people
from
can't
the
hide.
windows, because they hide. So people who don't, that's what we're meaning by the landscaping, as MJ was just saying. If that's your sidewalk and someone's walking this way, well, that's going to make you more aware. But a lot of these people, you don't trim the trees or the bushes near the home, and that's where they hide. They'll step right behind it. You'll look outside, you don't see anything, and then they're right there. So it's really important to keep those bushes and trees away from the windows, away from the house, so you can look. And if an officer does come by, they can also see. It's not just all this greenery where people could stand behind, you can't see it.
Absolutely.
And the same with, you had even mentioned to us, even with the gates, right? So you can see through the gates.
Yeah. So gates are a great thing, right? One, it keeps people out. But when you have gates or walls that you can't see through, well, once somebody jumps that wall, then your neighbors can't see them in your backyard.
Right.
So now they've got free access and free reign to run around your backyard. So again, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? So you want your privacy in your own backyard, but then again, you're also giving a lot of privacy to a would-be burglar if you can't see through. So when you start to look at areas and residential areas that have really good Septet principles in place, you're going to see some of those gates that have a little bit of optic through it. So you can see into the yard, but not really clear, right? You're not that you can just see into it, but it's going to give you some ability to see when somebody's in that neighborhood, in that area, or where they're not supposed to be. And the same thing goes for your other access control. It tells people where they should be and where they're not. So I'm going to tell all of our viewers today, go to our website, security. It's going to be bossecurityscreens.com. Check out the blogs. There's a whole series on Septet. And if you have any questions on that, please email us. I'll be glad to talk to you one-on-one. And for our customers, if you are interested, we can also come out and do some Septet analysis for you. And again, you would access that through the office, and we could come out and we could take a look at your home, talk about some of the security features. I know that Jim here does that when he comes out and does one of your first initial meetings with a potential customer.
When we come out for an estimate, it's a free estimate, and we're there. It's a really good presentation. So we like to have both, people home, or the person who's going to make the decision there, because it's really good to see when this product, when you feel it and touch it and hold it, you'll see why it's so good.
And we're going to get to that in just a few
Okay.
minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch gears to the last two things that you can do. So we've already talked about awareness. We've talked about neighborhood watch. We've talked about Septet. So now what we want to talk about is potentially layering our security. So Septet is a really great base to do some nice things for your home, to protect it either through lighting, landscaping, those type of techniques. But then you've got the layered approach. Now, I am not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of security cameras and alarm systems because throughout my 29-year law enforcement career, I saw them fail over and over and over again. Now, a video camera, unless you have a live feed and you're watching your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the best it's going to do for you is record the bad guy, and then you're going to get to see everywhere in the house that they went. Now, it's a great deterrent because you are still getting a picture of the bad guy, but it's kind of one of those after the fact things. Same thing for an alarm system. A lot of your alarm systems are wired through somewhere else, right? So it's getting routed through Denver, Colorado, or it's getting routed through somewhere back east, and then it comes out to a security company here who has to dispatch a car.
Well, they won't even dispatch. They'll call you first. Hey, Rob,
I think your house is getting broke into. So now you're talking about what, 2 hours before you get somebody out there, and then those security companies are going to drive up and they're going to confirm that your house is broken into, and then they're going to call the police, who also have a response. So again, while those are great layered systems, I'm going to tell you, and not only because I represent Boss Security Screens, but in my 29 years, I only saw one product that worked 100% of the time. And it's the only reason that I'm here to endorse this product at all, is because I have seen it work. And it is an amazing product. It is the only one on the market with a no break-in guarantee. Never heard that before. I'm not aware of any of our clients that have had a successful break-in.
No.
And we've been in business now, what, 9 years, 8 years?
Yeah, well, it's been 4 here.
4 here. So in that time, I mean, that's a lot of guarantee. I mean, I don't know anybody out there guarantee that you're not going to get broken into. So the nice thing about the product is the way it's built. Now, if you've watched any of the videos, if you've ever seen us on any of the advertising, you're going to see how our product holds up to some aggressive damage, whether it be a hammer, a pry bar. If you go again right onto our website, you're going to be able to see fire personnel using crowbars and using bats. And I think they even used a hammer to try to gain access.
These are all fire department approved. So the two main questions, and we'll get into it a little bit when we show them the product. Just to get back to that Septet for a minute, there's two things that you can do in your home that when one of our sales reps comes to your home, and we're going to show you the product, we do a free security survey around your home. We check your number one thing you need to check is your electric panel box. That needs to be locked. We have locks. We usually give our clients free locks when we come. Sometimes we're out of them. So if we didn't give you one, we'll get you one. But we do give you a free lock for your electric panel box. It's very, very important. That's one of the first things they'll do. They'll come over. Out here in Nevada, they're all on the outside of the home. At different states, they may be on the inside of the home.
Right.
In that case, you don't have to worry. But if your panel stuff is on the outside of the home, please lock it. Also, the red cord that's in your garage hanging down from your garage door. People don't realize that cord is hanging off of that door. When the door closes, that cord comes right up against the door. So what they'll do is they push the top panel of the door. Some of the older doors, you can fit your hand right in. Otherwise, it opens up a good inch. That wire is right there, that cord. They'll reach in with a little hanger or a piece of wire, grab that, pull it, and come right in the house. Take that red cord off. You don't need it. That's only for if your car is in there and the electric goes out and you can't open the door. Just pull the little black lever on that cord went through and lift the door up yourself. Just eliminate that cord. So that's two things that don't cost you anything that can really save you a lot of hassles, okay?
So when we are looking at houses and we're talking about vulnerability, again, I go back to the concept that Boss Security Screens put something on a home that makes it obvious that security is priority. And so when your screens are on every door, every slider, French door, if you have them, every window, and you have every access to the home covered. The first thing that a would-be burglar is going to look at is, this is hard. This is a hardened target. I am bypassing it. And so we ask ourselves, why would someone choose this house versus the other house? Well, it goes back to that whole Septet stuff. Is it covered? Do they have oversized bushes? Can they be concealed? Then they start to look at the layered systems. They're going to look at whether you got an alarm, whether you have cameras. But when they finally make that decision about whether they're going to go in your home or not, they're going to look at how easy access it is. Are they going to be able to just use a rock and smash out your back slider and go in? Or are they going to have to fight with a security screen that's going to keep them out until the police arrive?
And that back slider is your number one spot in the whole house. That's your number one spot. Your number two spot is your front door. You want something between you and whoever rang that bell when you open that door. All right. So those are your two main pieces, and then you want to wrap the rest of your home.
Well, I tell you what, Jim, why don't we walk over here and
you can show them the window.
yeah, let's show them the window. Let's show them a screen, and let's show them the
have a couple
abuse.
different styles. The style we have here, and I'll go over it with you, or for the pop outs. If your window have pop outs, this is the style you're going to get. We have a new style now that's a less reveal, that if you don't have a pop out, it sits flatter against the wall, and it's a vault system. So all you do is lift up the lever and you have all these vault pins that stick up and out. But let's go over them and we can show you that.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
I think what we're gonna do is, this is streaming as a streaming Facebook, so
Great. All
we're
right, Jim.
gonna move our equipment here.
So this is one of the windows. We make, these are all custom made to fit your home. We have many colors and many styles. So this would be a double hung window that would open up and down. That's why the bar is going across. If you have the windows that slide, this bar will be down. So we mimic whatever you have on the house, we make it the same. Now this one here would fit inside a pop out, okay? So if this is on your home, you won't even know it's on the home. We color match your home, okay? Now a lot of people ask, there's two major questions people ask. Does it make my house darker? Which it doesn't, and I'll show you. Also, how do you get out if there's a fire? Great question, okay? So we take your screens off, these go on, okay? These are all stainless steel. Now, God forbid there's a fire, you need to get out. There's a ADA compliant latch right here. You can't see from the outside at all, or even on the inside for that matter. All you do is hit it down. It's less than 5 pounds of pressure for seniors and for children, and just push out. It opens right on out, which now even makes, you have to get out very quick, or when you're ready to wash, all you do is wash your window. You can take a hose and spray down the screen. Now come along, just close it, lock it, and you're all done. Okay, so this is a pin system. These get pinned. The other ones now, we don't have in here right now, but if you don't have a pocket, it looks the exact same. It's just a thinner profile. And all you do is lift the lever up and you'll see on those, there'll be all pins coming out like a vault. And that's how that works. So we have 2 different styles, okay? We also do your doors. This is one of the doors here. It's locked. Let me get behind here. We unlock the door. We have it. So these are the doors, all stainless steel, and when you open them, they just close automatically and will set. This is something you want to have, so when someone does ring your bell, you can talk to them, you have something between you and them, and they cannot get you at all.
Well, hey, Jim, let's take a quick look at this one right here, our little demo. I'd love to see, I'd love to have them take a look at just how durable this product really is. So
this is one of our, we call it a beat box now, but these are one of the screens we put on the home. But just to show you the strength of this product, this is the hammer, and I'm really hitting this, okay? This works the same on any product, on the sliders, on your windows, on your doors. No one's getting in your home. They're guaranteed for life. There's no break-in guarantee, and we're the only company where it's transferable. So it makes it more of an investment. So once you get this on your home, if you turn around and sell your home, the product stays with the home, the warranty stays with the home. So you can sell this home 5 times over and the warranty still stays with that client. So you get your money right back. So it's more than just security too.
All right,
You'll use your house differently.
Jim, we're going to zoom in a little bit. So I don't want them to be able
Oh.
to see a little bit of this screen just so they can tell. So go home and try that on your own house and see if that works,
There you go.
right? And you'll find out that the security screens here are built differently.
Yes.
It's just how it is.
Yep.
And we build them in a way that makes them different than anything on the market.
Yeah, we're the only one who has this product. Like I said, once it's on your home, you won't even know it. So you're not advertising you have security. Okay, when you look at your home, now these are solar also. So your electric bill will drop, your property value goes up. You'll use your house differently in the nicer weather. Now you can have things open. You can leave the house and leave the windows and doors open and still be safe. No one's getting in there. If you go out and you come home, you know no one's in your house. They couldn't get in there. So really, a lot of people, I just tell them you have a house worth $300,000-$400,000. We do homes in the millions. To do your home for the price it costs to do this, it's a no-brainer. You know, it might be a $10,000 job, a $5,000, a $20,000 job. You have a $400,000 home, and now you're safe for life.
Well, put a price tag on your own personal safety.
Correct.
I can replace the furniture in my home,
Exactly.
the TV, and maybe even the jewelry, but your personal safety, I can be at home with my windows open, and I don't have to worry about whether or not somebody's coming in my home,
that's the
because
thing.
these screens keep you safe.
All right, that's why I tell people you're most vulnerable when you're sleeping, when you're in the shower. You know, when you're upstairs, you can't hear if someone comes in downstairs. You know, so it's that peace of mind is. I used to install this before we sold it. You put the stuff on the house, you see the relief coming right off the people. Literally,
Great.
It's that good.
Well, let's go ahead and come back here to the table and let's get this wrapped up here.
Still ask about financing, so we
Yes.
can talk about that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of people who ask about financing. We do offer financing. We have a few different financing options. When your sales rep does come to your home, ask him all those. He'll go over everything with you. We also give discounts too. We really take care of the police and the vets a lot, and first responders. So if your sales rep asks you if you're one of those, please let us know, and we definitely give you some discounts. Also, we do senior discounts too. And this company, which is great about this company, which is I love too, is we give to charity every month. The girls here in the office pick out of the hat. Once you're a client of ours, your name goes in the hat. Once you get picked, and eventually you get picked, we give $500 in your name to a charity of your choice. Has to be nonprofit, non-political. If you don't have one, we have a list of ones that we donate to. But it's been a really good thing, and a lot of people like it. So hopefully, if you're a client of ours, and eventually you'll get picked one day for that. So it's a good thing.
Well, that is definitely why I was so attracted to the possibility of partnering up with Boss Security Screens, is their commitment to the community. This is a business that thrives on the personal safety of others, and then also giving back to the community. And so when you have a partner like that, you know it's somebody you can trust. So I'm going to tell everyone that's watching today, go to bosssecurity-screens.com, check us out, take a look at the product, take a look at what we can do for you, and then go into the blog section for some additional information. We're always trying to give you something that is practical, useful, and interesting. And then we would love to hear back from you. So go ahead, give us a call, write in with some suggestions on what you would like to hear, and we will tailor our next blog and or our next video presentation. Maybe we could do a live call-in. I would love to do a live call-in, and then we can just answer questions as we go right on the fly. That's usually a lot of fun. So let's go towards that for our next outing. And I want to thank everybody for watching today. I hope you learned a little bit, and definitely come check us out. You're going to love these screens. You're going to love what it does for you. But more importantly, you're going to love the fact that you can be in your own home and feel
Be
safe
safe.
being there. You don't ever have to ask yourself, am I going to get broken into?
You can always too, please stop down at the showroom here in Vegas, 6718 South Sunset Road. We're open 6 days a week here. Please come in and you'll see some of the products here. And that can help you, once you see and feel and touch this, then you realize, wow. Because seeing it like this is one way, but really feeling it and seeing it, it's awesome.
It's another,
It really is
without
awesome.
a doubt.
So,
Now,
all
a
right.
question about egress or being
Egress,
able
we
to
can
fit-
change your egress. The two big questions are, can you see through this? Does it make your house dark, and can you get out in case of a fire? Well, yes, you just saw how you can get out very easy on any piece of the product, opens up instantly. Also, when you're looking at this product, you're probably looking online at some of the pictures and it looks dark. Well, it's nice because during the day, you can't see in the people's house, which is really kind of nice. You can see in a little bit, but not too much. But you can see out nice and clear. A lot of people don't understand that. This sits in front of your glass a good 2 inches or 1.5 inches. So it gives it the reverse reflection. That's what makes it so clear. People don't understand, well, how can it be so clear? When you go up to a glass and you put your hands up like this to see inside, well, that mesh is on the outside of the glass doing that for the whole piece of glass. That's why you get that nice clear view. I don't know if you can see here. Well, this is on the inside. This should be on the outside, but you can see this is a big slider here. You can see the difference, okay, with the sun on the slider. This should be on the outside of the glass, but we're in the showroom. When this is on the outside of the glass, it would be even clearer, okay? So I don't want people always think I can't see out, but it's very clear. You can see right out.
Well, we also remind everyone, Jim, that all of the registrants for this particular video cast is eligible. They qualify for $1,000 off your installation. And so again, you want to go and reach out to bossecurityscreens.com, get registered and qualify yourself for that $1,000 off. And then have Jim or one of the other representatives come out and take a look at your home so that we can get you outfitted for a screen that is for the life of the house. The life of the product. You can sell that house 100 times. We don't care. The warranty travels with the product. So it is a lifetime, true lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
So again, it adds value and beauty to your home, but more importantly, it adds protection and safety.
Final question. What there are a lot of other security companies out there. Why go with this one and not someone else? What's
We're the only one
difference?
that has a 12 by 12 mesh. The other companies, we were the original. The other companies have a 10 by 10 mesh. It's not bug tight, okay? And all our stuff is made right here in the USA. We don't have China mesh. We don't have any of that stuff. And there is a difference. We pay extra for this mesh. Believe me, you get a mesh from China and our mesh, you could definitely see the difference, okay? Our service, we hardly have any service at all. This product is that good, but the whole company, right down to the installers, everyone's on their game. They really do a good job. You'll like everyone. Please check us out. You'll see our 5-star reviews and a lot of things that people talk to about us.
Well, I can testify to the quality of the product because they were kind enough, the owners were kind enough to send me out to the factory.
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to witness the way these are constructed, and it was amazing. And to compare the products side by side with other meshes that are out on the market, it is amazing the difference, the strength difference. I mean, even on a small sample, you can't physically bend this product. And so I was able to see it firsthand. And again, with 29 years of law enforcement under my belt, it's the kind of product that I feel very comfortable being part of, and definitely proud to be part of the company. So anyway, it's just something that I believe in. It's something I would put on any of my family members' home, friends. I got friends now that are interested in the product. So again, it's just something that you believe in and you are happy to own. And it just adds that beauty to your home.
It really does. It looks nice.
So, well, Jim, I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, brother.
You're welcome.
And I'm glad. I hope everybody had a good time.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, let's see. All right, so I think we're gonna this stop recording.